All right. In the meantime, we'll get to Malik's question that was submitted at the top of the show. What can I use for stomach infection?
Mm-hmm.
And Malik, feel free to continue to chat with more details because normally Aston would go back and forth and ask quite a few conditional questions that can help him be more specific. So feel free to keep chatting.
Right. So Malik is, I know that you probably don't want to reveal too much, but you can reveal as much as you can so we can give you a more specific, response to your question. So the most common stomach infection I have come across is H. pylori. Do you have H. pylori? H. pylori is a bacteria, and it's a pretty serious bacteria. It can lead to a lot of other health issues like ulcers, etc. So is it H. pylori, or is it just you did an endoscopy and the doctors say they see inflammation? So you can just let us know if it's a bacteria. But for stomach infections in general, what you can do is get on our detox package, get on the 3 detox, the lymph node, the blood, and the digestive for the intestine, along with the anti-inflammatory, and stay in them. So that's the very, very basic I would recommend. Very, very basic. If you want to add something, to that to make it even more potent, you could add the LNU1, which is the body system. If you want to add that in just to see results faster. So keep in mind now that when I say, you can do the detox package along with the anti-inflammatory, we can create at least 10 different powerful packages for infection, especially for stomach infection. We have the resources at NuSpecies to create all these different potency level. And then beyond that, Jillian made a statement in her opening remarks that we manufacture our own products. Guess what? We can manufacture anything we want because we do our own manufacturing. So that's the good news for all of us, that if you start to take the detox system or package along with the anti-inflammatory and seeing results fast enough, we have even more potent formulas that we can put you on. But I like to, Jill, say to people, start basic, because for a lot of people, just doing our basic packages, just a very, very basic, minimum basic, they get great results because even the basic formulas are powerful. They're very potent, very highly concentrated. So my suggestion is the detox package, because the detox, all 3 bottles have antibacterial, antiviral, anti-inflammation components, to them to help the body to support itself against inflammation or infection. And then the anti-inflammatory, anti-infection, that too. So those 2 together, add in the LNU1, which is the basic LNU, and you should be fine. Just stay in it. You may need to be on it for 3 months, maybe even 6 months. It all depends on how powerful the bacteria are, because you all know when it comes to viral and bacterial infection or microbial infection, these creatures, they have a way to blend into our cells and become dormant. So you need to be on it for long enough so that your immune system can root them out and destroy them. So the detox system or the detox package along with the anti-inflammatory, if it's in the budget, add in the LNU1. And then you should let us follow up with you. Mm-hmm. We want to make sure that you're seeing results in at least a couple of weeks to a month. So you should follow up with us. If we don't call you, you should call us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't know, Malik, if you might be a good candidate for this question, or if anyone else listening could give us some insight. But one of the, we have a biweekly team meeting with all of our employees because we want to know what is happening. What are our clients asking for? What are they complaining about? What are they complimenting us on? We try to dig for as much information as we can get because our team is the one actually talking to you most of the time. And one of the feedback we got recently was that they weren't sure how to help someone who is coming into the store saying that they have a particular health issue. Let's just say it was stomach infection in this case. And they didn't want to book a consultation. They don't want to get on with the RN, or they don't want the team to call Aston right now and ask. They just want to know, like, what can I take? And we're curious to know, what thinking is behind that, because the reason that we put all this time and effort into free consultations is because we want to make sure you get results, right? Because selling that first package doesn't help, may help you, but may not always help you.
Mhm.
It doesn't really help us if you don't get results, because that's the only way NuSpecies wins, is if you win.
Mhm.
So when someone is coming into the store and saying, what can I take for this issue? But I don't want to talk to anybody. Just tell me what to buy. We always get nervous because we don't know without more information, if we're going to recommend the right thing. So we're curious for all of you, what is behind that? Like, why don't you want to talk to somebody?
Right. So we do a lot that the medical system doesn't do, to Jillian's point. And one is, a bacterial infection is different from a viral infection. A viral infection is different from a microbial infection. So, and then there are parasitic infections. There are many different types of infections, and that's why we have to talk to you. So yes, when you walk into the NuSpecies store or office and you are told that you need to talk with me or the RNs or one of the RNs about what's going on with you, is because we want more details to make sure that your money is well spent. You all know, that's why you're all listening to us right now, that we live to give you results. If we're not giving you results, we're failing you and your money is being wasted. We're not like other companies. We want to make sure you get results. So talk to us. And like now, a lot of you are on, ask the questions away. I would say we're a family. You can be an island and live on the island by yourself, or you could share what's happening with you now, and we talk about it and try to help you.
So we do have a question from Andrea Brown. She was saying, why is the liquid product so sweet? And is it safe for diabetes?
All right, you take that one.
This is one of our most common FAQs.
It's the most common.
I'm not sure if we've gotten this one up on our knowledge base. Might be about our knowledge base. We are building a knowledge base. If you haven't realized yet, I was announcing it for a while in our email newsletter. But if you go up to nuspecies.com, and in the main navigation, if you click on support, you'll find a drop down menu which will link you to our knowledge base. And I've been trying to put up as many answers to our frequently asked questions up there, and I believe this one is already up there. And having said that, so the liquid product is sweet because of the vegetable glycerin. And vegetable glycerin is a natural way to preserve the living ingredients. So what most people are used to when it comes to herbs is tinctures or tonics. And those are usually boiled herbs. They're processed with heat, and then they're preserved with alcohol.
Or the chemicals.
Right. So like, let's say the most natural tinctures you might be used to, alcohol. For NuSpecies, because we keep our herbs alive, we have a unique process called cold processing. So not cold pressed, that's juice. Cold processing means that we manufacture and produce our products without using heat. And this preserves the integrity of the heat sensitive chemicals in the product. So like vitamins, enzymes, many things. And so in order to preserve our products so that they can stay good for years on the shelf, we use vegetable glycerin. Vegetable glycerin in itself has health benefits, not why we use it though, and it has a sweet taste. There is a lot of chemistry behind why it tastes sweet, but is not actually sugar and does not affect your blood sugar. So if you look up vegetable glycerin online, you could get that whole chemical breakdown, something about triglycerides, and that's not my area of expertise, but it's actually commonly recommended to diabetics by doctors
as sweeteners.
As a sweetener. So they'll say if you have diabetes and you want to drink your coffee, you normally put sugar in your coffee or tea, use vegetable glycerin. The reason why people probably don't do it is because it's expensive, and they'll end up sticking with like a stevia or maybe another sweetener that doesn't taste as good.
Poisons.
If I don't know if stevia is poison, but
sugar.
Like sweet and low and stuff like that is probably poison. But so that's why it tastes sweet, but does not actually affect your blood sugar. And if you're interested in the science behind that, you can easily find it online. Okay. So Andrea, if you have any follow-up questions, keep going. Then okay, sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, if it's Rosalind or Rosalind. Okay, how can you repair the vastus lateralis muscle if it's strained and inflamed in the knee? If it's strained and there's inflammation in the knee. Do you know off the top of your head where the vastus lateralis muscle is?
Right.
Okay, sorry.
So if you have done an X-ray or an MRI, you should send that in to us, because a lot of people who have muscle issues is from chemicals. And that's one of the most common cause of muscle issues. Chemicals, toxins, free radicals, and then on top of that, dehydration. And that goes for any muscles anywhere in the body. So if you have done any X-rays that can show us whether you have blood circulation issues, or we can see the status of your blood circulation to those muscles, because that's another issue. So when you have these muscular issues, there are tiers of problems that are taking place in not just in the body, but in those areas. So it could be inflammation, it could be infection, it could be chemicals, it could be toxins. And then those affect, or any one of those affect the blood vessels. And then dehydration is a huge one. If you're not drinking adequate amount of water, it can make the muscles get dehydrated and then they worsen. So if you have an X-ray or MRI or any kind of medical exam, you should send it in to us so we could see what's going on. But in the meantime, you're doing that, you should start making sure that you're hydrating properly. I want to say hydrate will mean water. But if you're going to drink, some amount of water, you probably should talk with your doctors in case you have kidney issues or heart issues or any kind of issues that the doctors will want to limit your intake of fluids or water. So I don't want to go off and just tell you to start drinking half your body weight in ounces of water, which is the typical. If you have other underlying conditions like kidney disease or heart disease, like congestive heart disease, your doctor will limit you on the amount of fluids you should be consuming. But the first thing for you to do is to send us that X-ray or MRI or the medical exams so we could see what's going on. If it's just arthritis that's causing the muscles to get strained, or if you have an infestation of chemicals that's damaging the muscles along with the dehydration. We would want to know that.
So Rosalind, feel free to follow up with more detail if you'd like Aston to give you a more specific answer. In the meantime, Andrea asks what to use. Rosalind says, okay, sorry, Andrea, no limitation in fluid.
So you can go ahead and start drinking half your body weight in ounces of water, meaning if you weigh 100 pounds, you should be drinking a minimum of 50 ounces of water daily. If you weigh 100 pounds, you could start doing that until you get us those medical exams.
Okay. Andrea asks what to use for neuropathy. She has tingling in her back and feet and numbness.
So neuropathy is, as you know, I'm just going to keep it very basic because I've been yelled at for going into too much details by Jillian. So
Mary, get that camera on my face. Okay, there we go. I had one.
So neuropathy is simply inflammation that's damaging the nerves anywhere you have it in the body. And then if you have neuropathy, you're going to have blood circulation issues. So it's a very serious complication. It could be caused from diabetes especially, but it could be caused from other infections as well. So for neuropathy, the formula we recommend is the whether it's in your leg or it's in other organs or or the brain. What we typically recommend is NU25 because nerves are very difficult to fix. So just recommending the basic LNU may not work for you. So this is a case where you need to go on something that's more potent. The LNU25, the B vitamins, the mineral complex, and the vitamin D. At minimum, you should be on those.
Slow down.
Yes.
Sorry, because Mary's putting those links into the chat. So sorry, Andrea, we're going to get you links to each one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so start over again. So LNU25.
LNU25, the B vitamins.
The B vitamins complex.
The mineral complex.
The mineral complex.
And the vitamin D.
And vitamin D.
And I can explain which each will do, but
you can.
Andrea,
Mary
is looking at me.
Keep listening to Aston, and Mary will start
When there's
She wants some bee pollen 9.
well, if it's in the budget, you could add in the bee pollen.
Okay.
And that will complete it. Mary's absolutely right. Usually I add the bee pollen because if it's the brain, but yes, if you add the bee pollen, you'll see results even faster. So that is what we use.
So you can continue to elaborate. In the meantime, Mary, Andrea, don't worry. Mary will put the links in the chat so you have it there. Okay, now go on.
Before we get to that, are there any other questions?
Oh, good job. Aston's trying to pay attention to the production side of things. No other questions have come in yet, so you can continue to elaborate.
Okay. So the reason why you need an LU25 is because nerves are the most difficult. They're the hardest tissue to repair in the human body. And that's why most people who get nerve damage, they have it for life and it just worsens because there's no medication that I'm aware of that can help to fix nerve issues. So that's why we recommend the LU25. It's the most powerful rebuilder we have. And if it's nerves related to whether it's Alzheimer's or Parkinson or dementia or any of those type of issues, the NU25 has to be part of it. The reason why we have the B vitamins and the mineral complex, the B vitamins complex, the mineral complex, is because the B vitamins, our B vitamins, I can't speak to B vitamins that are out there in the market because a lot of them, from what I know, they're made in labs. Those vitamins are made in labs. So they're chemicals, they're compounds, they're chemical compounds, they're toxic. So our B vitamins, the NuSpecies B vitamins, are made from whole foods. The reason why they work so well to help to repair nerve damage is because, if you didn't know, B vitamins are primarily what our bodies use to repair DNA and genes. All nerve issues that I'm aware of derive from damage to the genes as well. So that's why you need the B vitamins. The B vitamins are the number one nutrients to help to rebuild our genes and our DNA. But those B vitamins have to be from whole foods. Now, the mineral complex, minerals are cofactors, right? That's what our bodies use to rebuild cells, tissues, organs. So yes, the B vitamins rebuild the genes and DNA. The mineral complex, which is completely natural, help to rebuild the cells, the tissue, the organs. So wherever you have those nerves that are damaged, the mineral complex is going to help you to rebuild the tissue around those nerves and get them back to where they should be over time. And then the bee pollen is we added in for digestion. And as you know, the vitamin D, if you didn't know, the vitamin D is probably the second or third most important nutrient for the human body. Above, below oxygen, the vitamin D is critical. All our cells have what they call vitamin D receptors. So vitamin D is that critical to help to rebuild not just our immune system, but our cells, our tissues, our organs. So the LU25, the B vitamins complex, the mineral complex, the vitamin D, and if it's in the budget, add in the bee pollen. Now, it's a pretty pricey package. I think it's going to cost you at least a couple $100, but to rebuild nerves, you have to use that because, as I said before, there's no known medication that can repair nerves, and your doctor should be telling you that.
And then additionally, if there's an underlying cause like diabetes, for example, the ultimate goal would be to help your body rebuild from diabetes. So that way the damage is not continued.
Right. So that's a great point because this package, if it's diabetes causing it, or cholesterol, or blood pressure, if those are the cause, this package will also help you with your diabetes or the blood pressure, the root causes. And that's why you're taking the LU25. It's the most powerful rebuilder we have at NuSpecies for the whole body.
All right, great. So Fitzgerald is asking, if someone is concerned about their pancreas, what should they start taking? I did ask him if he wants to provide a little more context for the concern, but he hasn't replied yet. So But it's our Fitzgerald. You know who it is.
Yeah. Fitzgerald, I'll give you a call today or Monday. But for the pancreas, the liver, the two most critical formulas we have to help those organs would be the L-Nu-25 and the milk thistle. The milk thistle is a form of a cleanser. It helps to clean the liver, it can clean the pancreas, clean the organs in general. And then the L-Nu-25 again is the most powerful rebuilder. Why? I always recommend the L-Nu-25 for liver issues or pancreatic issues because those are two of the most necessary. Those are the two fundamental digestive organs. If any of those organs are not working properly, it doesn't matter what you eat, you're probably not going to digest it properly. So you need to fix that. So the L-Nu-25, the milk thistle are the two most fundamental formulas to help to support the liver and the pancreas.
So, although Andrea asked the question about the nerves rebuilding package, Rosalind is following up, and I think her question, although I could just chat and answer it, I think it touches on a point that you might want to make because this happens with so many clients. So Rosalind follows up and says, "Can the L-Nu-25 be taken alone?" And Rosalind, forgive me for assuming I know what you mean, but maybe you're saying, okay, that's not in your budget. So you're trying to see if you could just take the L-Nu-25 alone. So I'm going to have Aston answer that from a budget perspective in context of the goal, which would be to repair nerves, right? But if I'm misinterpreting your question, then please provide more clarity so we can answer more accurately. Because technically, any of our products can be taken alone. You could take them however you want. But when you ask us about a very specific goal, that's when we start to be a bit more restrictive about how you should use them because you're going to hold us accountable to whether you get that goal, right? So
it's a wonderful question. It's a really wonderful question because it goes to the heart of the struggle that we have at NuSpecies when we make a recommendation. We have been doing NuSpecies now for over 20 years. Formerly for about 15, 16 years, but we were a charitable foundation before that, helping a lot of people around the world. So the reason why that question is so important is because we have learned over the years the NuSpecies, the combination of NuSpecies that work the best together. And what we do, we try to share it with you. And then yes, sometimes it costs a few pennies. But it's what we know that will work for you. Yes, if you want to start with something less than what we recommend, like the L-Nu-1, the L-Nu-9, the L-Nu-25, and leave out the other formulas, yes, you can do that. We have had people who have done that. We have had people who take the detox alone and the L-Nu-1, and their blood pressure get better. Their A1C gets better. Their cholesterol gets better. But then we have people who didn't. That's our struggle. So what we try to do when we make a recommendation, we make a recommendation so that at least when I make recommendation, I try to make recommendation that 98, 90, 99% of everyone who's taking that recommendation will see results. And I can tell you, you all know who work with me, that when I get on my calendar each day, I swear to you, I would come across most days no one who is not seeing results from taking NuSpecies when I do my follow-ups with you. Almost universally, it's rare cases I have people who are not seeing results from taking the first or second package. Very rare. But yes, there are also people who scale back on what I recommend and take something more basic, and they get results as well. So what we do at NuSpecies is try to recommend what we know will work for you up to 98, 90, 99% of the time. And we're very successful at that. So the simple answer to your question is yes, you could start with the L-Nu-1, the L-Nu-9, the L-Nu-25, and then gradually, as you have the budget, you can upgrade and take, you can add in what we recommend that you should take. But when we recommend something for you, we know that over 90%, 98% of the time, if you take what we recommend, it's going to help you.
And I want to say too, because we do have a bunch of clients. I mean, thousands of people with diabetes who use NuSpecies, and because they're checking their blood sugar regularly, it's really common that they will eventually start checking a little bit too anxiously and think that taking NuSpecies has raised their blood sugar. So our RN, Crystal, who I think is losing her mind getting this question so often, she wrote an article for us to put on our knowledge base. And if Mary's able to grab the link from the knowledge base, we can link it in there. But basically, she was advising that anything you consume is going to raise your blood sugar. That's not the same thing as being in danger with like a blood sugar spike from having diabetes. So if you even just drink water, if you take your NuSpecies formulas, if you eat just any sort of very healthy meal,
A green juice.
your blood sugar is going to go up.
It
That's
must.
that's a normal response.
If it doesn't go up,
digestion.
if it doesn't go up, you're dying. It has to go up because it's the way our body converts everything we put in our mouth into energy. And guess what? If you starve yourself, like my mother used to starve herself when she had diabetes. My mother used to starve herself. She used to eat a fruit, Jillian, called chocho.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know what chocho
Yeah,
is.
you show me chocho. I don't think
It's
I like
like
chocho.
99% water. Literally, it's just water.
Mm-hmm.
And she would eat just chocho and cucumber. And her blood sugar still goes through the roof. Why? Because even if you starve yourself, guess what your body going to do? If you have diabetes and you starve yourself, your body is going to start burning fat. It's going to find fat cells in your body and burn, and your sugar going to go up just the same. If you have zero fat cell, which is impossible, your body is going to start using muscle tissue. That's how our body works. It will cannibalize itself to provide the glucose that we need for energy, because that's why if your glucose ever fall below a certain number, you pass out and you could die. Our bodies is incapable of functioning without sugar, without glucose. Everything we consume, most of it get converted into glucose, because that's how the 80 trillion cells in the average adult, that's how those cells stay functional. They need sugar. They need glucose. Glucose get converted to pyruvate, and then we have the citric acid cycle. You can research it. Everything becomes sugar, and the body just break it down. So it doesn't matter what you consume, your blood sugar is going to go through the roof. And let's think about the reverse. Okay, your blood sugar is high, your A1C is high, and you want your diabetes to go away. Guess what? Starve yourself. Don't eat anything for a week and see what happens. Your A1C is going to go up. Even if your glucose goes down, the A1C is still going to go up, because the body is going to convert the fat, the muscle, the tissue into glucose. Our bodies will cannibalize itself. So yes, the vegetable glycerin, it may cause your blood sugar to go up temporarily, but it will come down just like anything else you eat. And guess what? We have helped thousands of people with diabetes. We have helped thousands of people. Guess what they use? The formulas that we have that have the vegetable glycerin. So that is the answer.
Right. And so the key we link the article, but what Crystal is saying is you're supposed to wait up to 2 hours after eating or consuming anything before you check your blood sugar. That's when you know if your blood sugar is still high. That's when it's actually significant, because it means your body hasn't processed the sugar out of your bloodstream. That's what actually is the problem with diabetes. Same thing with blood pressure. Like, we all have blood pressure. You have to, or you die. It's when your blood pressure is chronically high. So our blood pressure goes up when we get upset, when we get excited, when we're in pain, our blood pressure goes up. That doesn't mean we have a blood pressure problem. It's when your blood pressure is up and stays up. So if you're taking NuSpecies formulas, and then this is the issue, is people taste the sweetness of the vegetable glycerin, and then they're like, oh, this is sweet, maybe it's affecting my blood sugar. So then they go check their blood sugar, and of course their blood sugar is elevated because they just consumed something, and now they think, okay, NuSpecies formulas are raising my blood sugar. So there's a correlation there that is not causation in the way that, or a problematic thing that you're thinking it is. So we just recommend don't check your blood sugar until 2 hours after consuming anything.
Right. So
including water.
So that's why diabetes is not high blood sugar. Diabetes is not high A1C. The pharmaceutical companies, the medical industry make you think that way. Diabetes is when the beta cells, research it, in the pancreas are not producing insulin, or they're producing enough insulin and the cells lock out the insulin. The cells just block the insulin from absorption. And that's what they call insulin resistant diabetes. So diabetes is when the beta cells in the pancreas are not producing the insulin to burn the sugar or store the sugar in the bloodstream. That's what diabetes is. And that's what we work on. When we make a recommendation for your diabetes, we're not fixing your blood sugar. We don't care about your blood sugar. We don't care about your A1C.
Meaning that those are symptoms.
Right. A1C is simply the glucose has been high in your bloodstream for a number of weeks, and it creates the inflammation called, or the protein called A1C. That's all that A1C is. So we fix your pancreas, we fix the beta cell. At least we assist your body to fix the beta cells, rebuild your pancreas, rebuild your immune system, because the beta cells could be shut down because of a lot of reasons. It could be infection, it could be chemicals, it could be toxins, it could be free radicals, it could be the genes, it could be anything that are affected. That's why we rebuild your body, we rebuild your pancreas, we rebuild the beta cells, we rebuild your body. And those of you we have helped with diabetes, that's why we have helped you. We're not thinking about your blood sugar. We're not thinking about your A1C. We're thinking about the root cause of the diabetes, which is the genes, the pancreas breaking down, the beta cells breaking down. That's what we're fixing. I hope this helps.
I think it does. I think we can't say these things enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Lara says,
yeah,
I want to say that I've been on NuSpecies for my health, and I have seen so much good results. My A1C went from 9.9 to 6.9. All you have to do is take all the formulas as directed. You will see results. Thank you, Lara. That's really important, because we can say these things all we want, but when other people hear it from you, it's more impactful.
And all our formulas except the vitamin D and the detox powder and capsule and the MSM have vegetable glycerin. All our rebuilding formulas have vegetable glycerin. All of them.
Right. Just all the liquid formulas, basically.
Right.
That's how we make them liquid.
Right. So the point I'm making is, yes, they have a sweet taste. And if you hate the sweet taste, then buy the detox powder and mix. If you're not going to take the liquid formulas, then get it. If you prefer something that's bitter or tastes bitter, then you mix your L-Nu or the rebuilding formulas, the anti-inflammatory, into the detox powder. If you prefer to do it that way, you can do it that way. You will see result. May not be as fast as taking it straight, but you will still see results doing that.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So
that takes us to the end of the show. We planned our announcements at the start of the show, and I didn't think of this, so I'm going to say it, and you're not aware, but it's something we should start plugging, is that if you've been buying our products recently, you probably noticed our label design has been updated a bit. We're just refining a lot of things. One of the things that's pending to be refined is the name of a couple of our products. So the anti-inflammatory, we have to find another name for it, because technically, even if there's a million studies in the world that say that all those individual ingredients in that product have been proven to reduce inflammation in the body, Once we choose to combine them in our unique formulation, we now would have to do all those studies over again ourselves to prove that once combined, all those ingredients can still have the same impact. And so therefore, we can't actually say on our label that it's an anti-inflammatory product, even though we know that that's exactly what it does. And we have all the anecdotal evidence to prove it. So in order to just be conservative and make the FDA and the FTC happy and stay compliant with regulations, we do need to update the name of that product. We've been struggling with what to call it, but I want to give you the heads up in advance so that, over time, you'll be prepared when the name changes, that nothing else has changed.
The formula is not going to change.
Right. Okay, so there's that. And then also our L-New formula. So I think those of you who've been around for many, many years probably know that the original formula was Body Systems. And it was when we had a lot of success. That was L-New 1, was Body Systems, Aston's original invention. And people were getting great results. But then there was always the outliers who had more health issues and wanted faster results. And so then we made it more powerful. For whatever reason, rather than just calling the next version of it like Body Systems 2 or something else, we just changed the name completely. And so when we when we made L-New 1 more powerful, or Body Systems, we called it Legend. And then when we made it even more powerful, we called that Super Caveman. We weren't thinking about the marketing of it. We were just thinking of we were just calling them products that we wanted to call them. But people started asking us over time, okay, but what's the difference between Body Systems and Legend, and what's the difference between Legend and Caveman? And we would just keep saying, well, it's the same formula, it's just it gets more powerful. And then well, then why do they have different names? And then we're like, So then when we decided the brilliant idea to make them all the same name, we changed it completely and called it L-New. And then we did L-New 1, 9, and 25. But people have trouble saying L-New. They have trouble reading it. They feel weird saying it. And so we're just overall, for trying to market our products and make it more approachable to the masses, we feel like the L-New name, we should just revert back to Body Systems and just say Body Systems 1, 9, and 25.
So this is an announcement.
I'm just giving you the heads up that this is a direction we need to go in. And
I like Body System for Super Caveman and for Legend, but yes,
it was your original name.
Yeah, but
it makes sense.
Maybe we listen to you all too much because it came from.
It makes sense because, well, listen. Legend came out back when we had that other person trying to impersonate our products and copy us, and
copycat. You all know about the copycat.
And so we felt like we needed to come out and do something Legend, and it was Legend at the time.
I think Oliver Samuels here. I'm going to blame him for that one. So yes,
we've got 2 more questions. Mary's like, focus on the chat.
Yeah. All right.
So you guys obviously don't care about what we're saying. So anyway, we'll let you know when the names change. All right. So Sandra Lee asks, what can I give my 3-year-old grandson for constipation? So it's a tough one because technically, Sandra, we have to say 6 years and older can use our products.
That's the FDA legal requirement.
You have to say that.
Yeah.
So to answer your question would mean to ignore that.
But if you want it, that NuSpecies is completely natural. If you want to give it to any NuSpecies formula to your children, just give it to them in tiny quantity. But we can't tell you to do that because the FDA requires 6 years and over. I can tell you personally, for our kids, even before they were 1 year old, we're taking NuSpecies. So, but I'm not saying you all should do that. We don't want to violate the law, but
yeah. And it's kind of tough too, because even let's say we had an adult asking that question and we would say the detox powder, that's not typically a taste that
children
you're gonna get past a kid's taste buds. But because the kid would probably need so little, you could probably mix it into something.
Yeah.
Mix it in applesauce or something.
I would say rather than doing the detox, no, it's still NuSpecies.
Yeah.
So.
Here's the ultimate thing, and this is probably also impossible, which is most likely the child's constipated because they're not eating enough vegetables or drinking enough water or exercising. And that's really the foundation of all gut health is vegetables.
It's 3 years old.
I know. Well,
Sandra, why didn't you call me? Sandra, call me. You and I talked this week.
Sandra Lee?
Yeah, call me. Call me, girl.
All right.
Yeah.
And then Pansy. Hi, Pansy. Pansy says, what's the recommendation for sinus issues due to a dusty environment?
Well, we have a system on the website, right, Mary? For allergy, asthma, sinus. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I could imagine a dusty environment would just be irritating in general. Um, and so if we could have like an air purifier or something, that would also be great. But if your
Right.
body is reacting like in a more extreme way to a dusty environment than you think it should, then yes, then the package comes into play.
Yeah.
To help chill it out. Okay. Pansy says, "Oh yeah." All right. Please, if you haven't already, join the email newsletter. You can do that on the homepage of our website, as well as downloading the NuSpecies app off of your phone's app store. And then right here on YouTube, if you could, before you get off today, just subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. If you notice, we're at like
Do you really believe that there's anyone on this call right now who is not subscribed to our YouTube channel?
it's possible
Really?
because they can get the notification that we've got. I don't know. They get the
Okay.
email, they
So
click,
all
they
of you
join,
now,
they don't
please,
subscribe.
all of you now, please just subscribe. We
Yeah.
don't usually ask, but we're told by
And they could be watching on Facebook or on Instagram, so they need to like us there or follow us there or whatever the things are that you do that make us look good. Please do that. It is so good to be back. Thank you so much for giving us a warm welcome back to our Q&A, and we are excited to talk to you again every single week. When you get that notification from YouTube that tells you that NuSpecies has a live coming up, please go to that live, click notify me so it'll remind you when we're live, and then go to your URL bar and copy the link to that live and text it or WhatsApp it to all of your people so that you can let them know, like, hey, I've been talking about this product and you're not listening to me. And the person who actually invented the formulas and the people who own and run the company have made themselves available every Saturday at 10 a.m. to answer your questions. So join, please. You could share that link and get lots more people on here so we can serve as many people in our community as possible.
I can't believe that we're asking for subscribers. This is so.
Everyone has to. Even people with millions of followers keep asking for more subscribers. And there's billions of people on this earth who need us.
I'm just saying that I usually don't ask people
have
to
to
do
ask.
something.
We
I
have to
ask
ask.
people to take NuSpecies to get better so they can live better and live longer.
All right.
But
listen, Aston is not good at asking people for things or saying when he needs something.
all right.
So I will do the begging for him.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So you're all going to subscribe to YouTube. You're going to like us on Facebook and like us on Instagram. Do all the stuff.
All right.
Okay.
Have a great weekend.
Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you next week.